beast! Ah!
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Not the Bees, the Nicolas Cage filmography podcast. I am Megs.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this week we watched 2021's Willy's Wonderland. It is an hour and 29 minutes, and it's a bit of a ride. An unnamed man is driving through a small Nevada town called Hayesville when he hits a spike strip on the road, and he's now stranded with nothing but a supply of something called Punch Pop soda to drink. A local tow truck driver stops to help him. Across town around the same time, a girl named Liv is being arrested right before she sets fire to a building. The sheriff, who appears to be a mother, aunt, something, takes her to a trailer, and as she's about to take her in, the tow truck driver pulls up alongside with the unnamed man, and they exchange brief, cryptic pleasantries before he drives off and the sheriff takes Liv into the trailer, and then she handcuffs her to a generator. At a town's garage, the tow truck driver, who is named Jed, who is also the town's mechanic, says it'll be about $1,000 to fix the car. They also don't take cards in this town or have any ATMs because they don't have the internet. He asks the man if he's willing to work it off, and the man nods. Jed calls a man named Tex McAdoo. He's the owner of a children's entertainment place called Willy's Wonderland. Tex wants our no-name guy to spend the night cleaning the inside of it. He's planning on a grand reopening, and if this guy will clean the place, he'll pay the $1,000 cash and bring him his fixed car in the morning. The man agrees, and after a brief tour, Tex leaves the man to get to it. Our man is now the janitor, and he gets to cleaning. Inside of this place, kind of a lot like Chuck E. Cheese, there are several large human-sized animatronic puppets that sing and dance. The place used to be used for birthday parties and things like that, but the janitor learns very quickly that these puppets come to life and are murderous. They don't come all at once, though. They only come one at a time. But every time he faces one, he ends up getting covered in what appears to be oil, which is the substitute for their blood. It's very gross. And has to change his shirt into a new Willy's Wonderland t-shirt. In the meantime, Liv's friends across town, Chris, Kathy, Dan, Bob, and Aaron, get to the sheriff's trailer and break Liv out. Their plan is to get the man out of Willy's and then burn the place down. When they get there, however, the man just listens to them through a window and then goes back to playing pinball during his break. Liv says that they have to get him out. She's going to go in and try to get him and tells the others to wait for her outside. Once she's inside, she ends up squaring off against one of the puppets and stabs it before the man can get to her. She tells him that they have to go, that these puppets are deadly, and he just seemingly ignores her and walks away. Outside, the rest of the kids have climbed onto the roof. They argue about what to do, and then the roof caves in, and they all fall into the ball pit inside of Willy's. Liv and the man regroup in the main room with the other kids, and Liv explains to the janitor that the restaurant was originally owned by a notorious serial killer named Jeremy Robert Willis. He and his 7 cannibalistic colleagues slaughtered unsuspecting families, but the authorities eventually discovered them. They ended up performing a satanic ritual to transfer their souls into the animatronic puppets before they committed suicide en masse. Then the puppets wake up and attack. One looks like a knight with a sword, and he stabs Aaron through the middle. The other kids scatter, but soon Dan is found by 2 of the puppets and eaten alive, while Bob and Kathy sneak off to one of the party rooms to have sex and are found by another puppet and mauled to death by that one. Chris hides and calls the sheriff and tells her that they're all trapped in Willy's and that Liv brought them. Back at the sheriff's station, the sheriff, who actually had called a state cop to come to town for the night for some reason, decides that they're going to be driving to Willy's, and on the way, she explains to the state cop that after this restaurant was shut down years ago, the puppets would go out and kill townspeople. So then her, Jed, and Tex made a deal with the puppets that if they left the townsfolk alone, they would bring them sacrifices. So any unlucky person or family that found themselves in Hayesville ended up at Willy's for the night as human sacrifices, all on the same promise. Clean a bit overnight, Tex will sort you out in the morning. That's how she has lived. Her parents were killed, but somehow she survived, so the sheriff took her in to raise her. Back at Willy's and after the call, another puppet finds Chris in the arcade and tells him that she's different. The other puppets don't like her and make fun of her and coaxes Chris out into the open. In the other room, Liv has been running from the night puppet and the janitor intervenes. He beats it up and then decapitates it with its own sword. He also kills one of the other puppets that killed Bob and Kathy before arriving at the arcade with Liv, just in time to see Chris get his neck snapped by the puppet that manipulated him. The janitor takes care of that puppet, and then he and Liv try to leave. The sheriff and the state cop have just arrived and prevent the two from leaving. The janitor is then handcuffed and put back inside. The sheriff apologizes to one of the puppets that is, I guess she believes is Willy, and says that this wasn't intentional. She didn't know he would be like this, and she's going to leave him handcuffed for them to eat. She then drags Liv outside and tells the state cop to take Liv back to the precinct, put her in a cell, and then come back and get her. She's going to wait for Willy to get his food. Inside, two of the puppets square off with the janitor. He knocks them both down and then kills them. He gets out of his restraints. He changes his shirt again and finishes cleaning the restaurant. On the road, Liv is telling the state cop that he's complicit. He's just as guilty as the sheriff, and she was trying to end all of this so that no one else has to die. The state cop stops the car, and as he decides that he's going to go and do the right thing, one of the puppets reaches into the car to choke him. He's been on the roof of the car the whole time. They struggle, the cop gets out of the car, and the puppet kills him. Liv gets out with the cop's shotgun, but the puppet has the shotgun shell, so she just beats the shit out of him with the gun instead, and then walks back towards Willy's. As the janitor goes to take the trash out, he sees the sheriff and waves at her. She's furious and takes her shotgun and forces him back inside. She calls out to Willy to come out and eat, but he actually shows up right behind her and then cuts her right in half. Willy and the janitor fight. Willy gets some good licks in, but while Willy is momentarily down, the janitor fills up a burlap sack with the rest of his cans of Punch Pop soda and then beats Willy to death with that sack and the handle of the mop that he used to clean the floors with. Then he rips off Willy's head. In the morning, Tex and Jed return and find the restaurant completely clean, with the animatronics missing. The janitor holds out his hand for his car keys and then walks out. Liv has just made it back to Willy's, and the man wordlessly invites her to join him on the road, and she accepts. Tex and Jed talk about being able to actually reopen Willy's now that the nightmare is over. As they go to leave, one of the puppets has survived, and she crawled out of the dumpster. It found all of the gas cans that the kids brought, and as Tex starts his car and looks in the rearview mirror, the puppet thanks him for coming to Willy's Wonderland and lights the gas-soaked cloth in the gas tank, and all three of them blow up. On the road, the man offers Liv one of his sodas and then runs down the last puppet, the one Liv beat the shit out of who killed the state cop, and it flies into the air and comes apart, landing in a mess of oil and machinery on the asphalt as the man drives away. The end. Elizabeth.
Yes, dear.
What did you think of this movie?
Weird does not begin to describe this movie.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
It is fun, but it is very bizarre. The motivation for the janitor, played by Nick Cage,
who doesn't have a name, does not have a line, which is a master performance.
It is. He goes the entire movie without speaking.
Yeah, the most we get from him is like a grunt when he's like smacking something with a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his motivation is weird. Like he is so on his mission, which is to clean this restaurant, that nothing will stop him. Even when the animatronics turn on him and start trying to murder him, he just mows one down after the other and goes right back to cleaning.
Nonplussed.
Yeah.
The entire time. Like, it doesn't even affect him. Like, when the first one comes out, it looks like an ostrich. And I don't remember what it says, but I think it says something like, I'm going to eat your fucking face off, or something like that. And he just turns around and gives it this look like, I'm so busy right now, can we not?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the kids come to save him, and they're like, we got to get you out of here. And he's like, no, I'm just going to go back to cleaning. Like, he just ignores them. Which, like, I would get the fuck out of there at that point.
Yeah, and we have no idea. Like, he is just a completely unnamed protagonist. We have no idea what his motivation is other than to get his car back. To get what his repairs paid for. That's it. And we can only just guess at that. So, like, we don't know his history. We don't know why he's driving through this town. We don't know why he's somehow so extremely effective at destroying animatronic puppets. Like, and it's gory. It's gory in a way that is hilarious to me because it's not blood.
Yeah.
None of it is blood, but it looks like blood the way that it splatters all over him.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I love the running gag with him putting on a clean shirt every time he kills something.
Every time. Every single time. This movie is so fucking weird.
I love that he has set a timer on his watch to take breaks, play pinball, and drink his soda.
Yes. Which is a completely fictional soda, by the way. And, like, I looked up a bunch of stuff. Like, was this based on something? It's not based on anything. It's not based on, like, it's not based on a novel or a comic book or some random, like, ridiculous short story somewhere. Nope. It's an original script that is very similar to Five Nights at Freddy's, but a lot more ridiculous. Yeah, this movie is just strange. I love that there's a pinball machine in this movie. I also really love that it is like an original pinball machine that looks like they built it for the movie because it's the Willy's Wonderland pinball machine.
Yeah, they rethemed an existing machine.
Yeah.
To be the Willy's Wonderland pinball machine. I love the little dance he does when he's playing pinball.
So do I. It's very cute. I don't really think that the kids in the cast were very good, which is fine. It's fine. Like, their acting wasn't super great. The acting in this movie really wasn't super great in general, except for, of course, Nicolas Cage, because he literally did all of this without speaking a word.
Yeah, it's a lot of conveying emotion through his face.
Yeah.
It is a lot of body work. It is a lot of playing to his strengths without having a voice.
Yeah. I'm a very nosy person, so I would like to know, like, why he didn't speak. I would like to know why he has the skills and ability necessary to destroy animatronic life-size puppets, because, like, they're not humans, and I understand, like, it's difficult to, like, rip meat apart and stuff, like bones and stuff like that, but, like, I can't imagine that electronics would be any easier. In fact, I would think they would be more difficult because of screws and stuff. But, like, with, like, butter, like, with ease, just, like, rips these fucking things apart and neatly puts them into trash bags and stacks them by the door. Like, honestly, the sequences of him cleaning are fucking insane to me. Because, like, it's just so weird.
Yeah. He's got a singular focus. What I want to know is, why hire Nicolas Cage if you're not going to give him any speaking lines? You could have hired literally anyone. And is it more difficult to act when you don't have a voice?
I imagine that it would have to be. But it also is, like, 100% up his alley.
Yeah.
Because it's where his inspiration comes from German silent expressionist films.
I totally get why Nick Cage would take the role.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure why you would offer it to Nick Cage. You don't need, or maybe you do need, the big name actor to bring people into this bizarre, satanic puppet movie.
I think you do, because, I mean, the only other name in this movie that anyone would probably recognize is the woman that played the sheriff.
Yeah.
And she was played by Beth Grant, who's been in a ton of stuff. She's the Hey, It's That Guy. So she's been in a ton of stuff, and she's wonderful. But, like, she didn't really have a big part,
right,
in this movie, though she did have some speaking lines. I did look up a few things, like, trivia-wise and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot that's really interesting, other than what's on the can of soda is "a fistful of caffeine for your kisser" is the slogan for Punch Pop, which I thought was, I don't know why. I don't know. I always think it's really silly when people create completely fictional props that look like they should exist in the real world, but they don't. And then make them, like, a big part, like that book Memories by Nicolas Cage from that movie Between Worlds that we watched, that is not a real book. It's complete fiction, but, like, it makes you want to go and look for it.
Right.
So I love shit like that. He also improvised the entire pinball dance. He produced the movie. But the one thing that I think is really interesting, and I love it when there's like little Easter eggs and stuff like this, because again, we don't understand this guy's past. So despite the fact that his name is never revealed, his motivation is not revealed, apparently around 3 minutes, there is a shot of a military ID hanging from the mirror in the car. And it's apparently their reference to his army character, U.S. Army Ranger Cameron Poe from Con Air.
Nice.
Which I just think is hilarious. Like, okay, so maybe this is Cameron Poe, and maybe for some reason, maybe that's why he's so nonplussed about it. He's just like, motherfucker, like, I'm so tired.
So what would we rate this movie?
I love this movie. I want to give it an A.
It is really bizarre, but I did genuinely enjoy it, so I'm okay with an A.
What would you give the caginess of it, considering that he doesn't have any lines?
I still think it's an A. I think that he conveyed emotion through his body work and his facial expressions, and I think that it's a difficult task.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, no, I agree. It 100% is an A for me. It's, I think, the only movie that he's ever done where he's been silent. And it's an action movie, and it's funny. Like, this has so many different elements of so many different kinds of genres. Like, there's an element of satanic panic, right? Because that's what caused all the animatronics to be like this.
Right.
There is that very nostalgic, like, 80s arcade feel. Because, you know, he's got the soda and the pinball, and, like, that's what he's doing on his breaks. It's very colorful.
Yep.
This movie has very, like, bright color saturation, even when it looks dingy. This movie is a lot of fun. This movie is innovative in ways that I haven't seen before. It definitely is, like, a much dirtier version of Five Nights at Harry's. Or, is that what it is? Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. I would genuinely say that it's better than Five Nights at Freddy's, because I'm much more of a Nicolas Cage fan than I am of Josh Hutcherson, but I recommend this movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's all we can say for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good film. We definitely recommend it. I think that's going to be it for us, though, this week. This is a really short film. It's only an hour and a half long. There's just a lot of, like, crazy shit that happens. But if you've listened this far and followed along with us on this journey, we certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much. We are now on YouTube at Not the Beast Pod. We're still on our socials at Instagram at Not the Beast Pod. And if you're feeling any kind of generous towards us, you can see us on patreon.com/notthebeast. We would appreciate any kind of monetary donation. But outside of that, we would also appreciate any kind of interaction with this episode. If you could like, share, subscribe. We're available on all of your podcast apps. But that's going to be it for us this week. I've been Megs.
And I've been Elizabeth.
And we'll see you next time, kids.